Why was Diablo 1 snubbed at the big 30th anniversary announcement from Blizzard? Like, we got all this cool Diablo news, and the fact that we're getting like Diablo 2, like a new class and new content for Diablo 2, it's really awesome. And this idea of like, it's going to be an Immortal, it's going to be in Diablo 2, it's going to be in Diablo 4, I love it. I'm here for it. But like, this is the 30th anniversary. Why wouldn't they have anything for the game that started it all? Especially considering everyone and their mother is remaking or remastering games now. Like, it seems like a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you have a full Diablo 1 remake? Like, it would be eaten up in a moment. And then they gave us hope. At the very end, they said for BlizzCon, they are going to freak out with their Diablo announcement. And me and all 7 other people who love Diablo 1 the most were very, very excited for this is it. We're going to get the remaster. But as I've been thinking about it, I kind of think it's impossible to remaster this game. Blizzard, like any other company, puts first money. They're only going to remake or remaster the game if they think it's going to have a good return on investment, right? Only if it's going to make money. And here's the thing is, I don't think it will. Like, I know Blizzard is infamous for the whole you think you do, but you don't, but I kind of think that's kind of where I'm at on this. I think I want a remaster or a remake, but I really don't. The 30th year anniversary tells us the game is old, right? It's 30 years old, and its age definitely shows. And all the things that you think of when you think of Diablo aren't really present in Diablo 1. Unique classes really don't exist. Like, sure, there's a couple different starting abilities, but for the most part, you can build your character however you want. Sprawling talent trees don't really exist. Even rare mobs, there's only like a handful of named rare mobs as compared to the later games where there's just packs and packs and packs of them. So if they were to remake this game, they'd be faced with the decision, do we actually remake Diablo 1 faithfully? Like, if you're playing through a warrior, there's a good chance that you're just going to use your sword and shield or two-handed weapon the entire match. You're never going to bother to learn enough magic to learn a spell unless you found a tome of like Town Portal. You might learn a little bit of magic for that. For the most part, you're just going to be pumping up your other stats, which means you're going to be playing the whole game with just melee attacks. What you see here, right? The whole game is just going to be holding down shift and left click to knock monsters out. Like, is that fun and engaging gameplay in today's world? And I just don't think it would hold up. Think of the Butcher fight. One of the most iconic boss fights in all of gaming. When you get that, fresh meat. You're scared, your blood starts pumping, you don't know what you're gonna do. How are you gonna beat this boss? And it turns into either one, you stand there and hold down the left click button and you take swings at each other and hope that you have enough potions to guzzle down to take him down first. Or you cheese him and you go and find like a gate that you can shoot through or put like a tome of firewall through to instantly take him down and he can't hurt you. And at that time, that felt like you felt so smart. Like, oh, I outsmarted the boss. Like, I can't believe there's multiple ways to take on this boss. I can shoot him through the grates. I can put down portals of spells. I can just fight him head on. But in today's gaming age, I just, again, don't think that really holds up as that immersive of a boss fight. So if they remade the game, they could, of course, change all that, right? They could add in different classes, sprawling ability trees. They could remove some of the annoying things. They could give us quality of life, right? Like, they could make it so random spells don't drop. Like, the fact that you might never learn how to Town Portal because you never find a book, like, that's horribly annoying. You can't run anywhere, you're slowly walking, there's a lot of backtracking, there's gear that you can identify that becomes worthless after you identify it, so you waste all your gold on it. You can get stranded down below without a scroll of Town Portal and have to walk up 4 flights of stairs. Like, there's a ton of stuff here that is slow, methodical gameplay that modern day would say that's really boring or really annoying, why can't we quality of life that away? But once you remove all of that, is it even Diablo anymore? If you're able to run and you have a skill tree and there's no luck and there's different abilities and the characters have huge differences, like, are you even playing Diablo 1 anymore? No, you're basically playing Diablo 2 or Diablo 3 or 4. And they're all fine games for what they are, but they're not Diablo 1, right? Diablo 1 is markedly different in a lot of different ways. And like, if they're going to add all those things, why even bother remaking it? They could literally just add the Diablo 1 stuff into Diablo 2 or do like they did with Diablo 3, where there's Tristram in Diablo 3 and people hated that event because it wasn't Diablo 1. People wanted to experience Diablo 1 again, but maybe you think you do, but you don't actually want to. Like, there's so many things that's hard to make for the general masses, because if you talk about one of the, in my personal opinion, the most annoying things from Diablo 1 about being the warrior, because that's all I ever played because I love the warrior, was like, okay, you get down to the lower levels and there's a lot of enemies that will shoot you and then they'll run away and they'll run and they'll run and they'll run and they'll run and they're impossible to catch up to, and they'll just slowly chip away at your health. I know there's some people who are like, wow, that's so amazing, right? You have to figure out how to overcome that challenge. You either need to make a build for ranged, or you need to speed up, or have like Stone Curse to put them in their place. There's a lot of ways to handle that, but I also know there's a lot of gamers who wouldn't bother, and they would just cry for nerfs, or hey, this is busted, or hey, this is wrong or broken in some way, fix it. But that's not Diablo 1. There's also been a decent amount of retcons. Granted, they're not huge, but like they would still have to change the story. So if you're changing the story of Diablo 1, changing the characters of it, again, we got like this ship of Theseus. Like, once you start changing all these things, is it still the original? So is that it? Is that just the end of the conversation? Will there never be a Diablo 1 remake or remaster? I really don't think we're ever going to see that. As I said, I don't think Blizzard sees any money in it, because they're going to have to completely change it, and at that point, people aren't going to be happy with it. We've seen that with like the Warcraft 3 remake, where there was different changes that people really didn't like, and there was a bunch of controversy around it, and granted, there was other parts that for the controversy, but my point stands. I just don't think people are going to accept a remake of this game if they add too much. And if they just remaster and up the graphics, well, there's already like the Beelzebub HD mod and things like that already do that, and it's not super popular. But we do still have a big announcement coming at BlizzCon that's Diablo related for the 30th anniversary. Now, I think it's a little too early to announce Diablo 5. I think they want to continue making some money off of Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal for a while, so I don't think they're going to show off Diablo 5. And they could be having a roadmap for Diablo 2 and continuing to update Diablo 2, seeing how hyped this is, seeing how people really like the Warlock. There's a good chance that we see more of that. But I think that there's something else in the works. A way to make a Diablo 1 remake or remaster, or maybe even a reimagining that would satisfy people, but kind of update the archaic gameplay but not lose its feeling. And that's if we take it out of the ARPG genre. In my video talking about Helldivers 2 and how they're making a StarCraft FPS, and I think that StarCraft FPS is going to be a Helldivers 2 clone set in StarCraft, I really hope so. I talked a lot about how Blizzard used to be known for taking something that was great and improving upon it and perfecting it. They would take another game, take kind of its ideas and say, hey, let's make this perfect, and birth us things like Warcraft or Diablo or World of Warcraft. And I think a genre change for a Diablo 1 reimagining could be exactly what we need. Look at a game like Darkest Dungeon. It's got the slower, methodical gameplay, it's got those deep, gothic tones, it's got engaging gameplay that's still very difficult. I think something like that could work really well for Diablo. Or even like Slay the Spire. I know card builders and roguelikes or roguelike card builders are all the rage right now. I definitely think that could work really well for Diablo. You couldn't be the hero, you couldn't be the Herodrum or anything like that, but if you're playing as the original people who went down into the depths below and got massacred by like the Butcher or got taken down by Archbishop Lazarus, well, then you're not a named NPC, you can be multiple NPCs and build a party, kind of like Darkest Dungeon, or you could have multiple runs through Slay the Spire. And I think that's what they're going to announce. And maybe it's a little bit of hopium, maybe it's a little bit of copium, but I truly think that they are going to give us something Diablo 1 related that's not quite a remake, not quite a remaster, but a reimagining of Diablo 1 to make it palatable to modern day audiences, but still be able to get that really, really powerful, gothic, hardcore imagery and that soulless, lifeless, hopeless feeling of the first game. So I've been yapping for about 10 minutes here, so let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to get a Diablo remaster remake, and would you play it? Like, honestly, if they remade the game with modern graphics, but left the combat as is, where it's just holding left click, would you play through the game more than once? Would you spend more than a few hours on the game? Or would you get bored with it within a few minutes of, okay, I'm just going to left click, left click, left click. Like, yeah, the enemies are changing, but I'm just left clicking them. Like, Again, that's not engaging, especially by modern mechanics. Would you actually engage in that? Let me know down in the comments down below, and as always, thank you for watching and have a blessed day.